Hey guys, Jim here. Wanted to talk for a little bit about Reate knives again. Now, if you're a newcomer to my channel, you may not have seen the video, but I've already covered Reate knives when I got my first Horizon. This is the Horizon B that the owner of Reate Knives, David Dang, was kind enough to make into a more unique one-off variation for me. And ever since I've gotten this, I have been amazed with the quality that's coming out of this factory, because realize, unlike most of the other videos that I'm doing, this is on a full-on production knife. These are not custom, they are not mid-tech, they're full-on, full-blown production knives. Now, they're at the higher pricing tier of production knives, so you're going to pay $400 for the ones I'm showing you here today. The Horizon B was less expensive because it did have less exotic steel at S35VN. And I got to tell you, I look at the comments. I see the comments that people make on Instagram and on the forums, and they can't get past the fact that these are made in China. Let's get that out of the way. Every time I've talked about the Reate knives, I've been very clear. These are Chinese-made, 100%, full production knives, and they are at the top of the pricing tier. But I'm going to tell you right now, from my personal experience, especially with these two, you're getting as close to a custom knife as you can get. Now, a good custom knife is going to cost you $500 and up, generally. Yeah, you'll find a few here and there, good quality folder flippers, you know, in the $450 range, maybe. But generally, you're going to be looking at $500 and up. So, you've only got a $100 gap here. There's a couple things on here that I think are going to amaze you. Now, let's talk about what we've got here. So, this was the Horizon B. The Horizon A was the exact same knife, but with the M390 blade, much more expensive blade. It was a higher cost. They were made available in this texture, but not obviously with this anodizing and the customization that was done. It was just a regular titanium look. These are the Horizon D. They're calling this the Horizon D Tie and the Horizon D CF for carbon fiber. Now, one of the first things I want to point out to you is the quality of the carbon fiber that's being used here. From the beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, texturing that's been done here, it looks a lot like the quality level. Obviously, there's no design, confusion here, but from the quality level, it looks like a Shirogorov Hati. Now, you guys have seen that video on my channel, from the regular mid-tech version to the $2,000 custom version. One of the things I've always said was how much I like the fact that they did this beautiful texture on a nice fine weave carbon fiber, and it gave a really iridescent quality. Well, that's exactly what this knife is getting you. You're also getting it in a contoured carbon fiber. So it's not just a flat-sided carbon fiber. You've also got these details here, that millwork, and it's going to follow the same architecture as the titanium frame. It's a little bit easier to see. It's a little bit more pronounced here, where everything here is all black. On these, you will get the blued titanium hardware, the blued titanium backspacer, fully sculpted, 3D machined titanium clip, and this really cool anodizing that's made to kind of replicate the look of Timascus or Mokutai. Now, I want to be very clear. You know, a lot of guys have been throwing around the term Fokutai. Not once has David ever said that he's trying to pass this off as Mokutai or Timascus. He has only ever sold this as a titanium clip with a custom anodizing job, period. So I want to be very clear on that. Same thing for the pivot. We have that look of Timascus or Mokutai, but it's simply done in a special etching that he's doing and anodizing in the titanium. It looks fantastic. Now, those of you with a keen eye are looking at all this blued hardware, and you're going, what's this? Well, I would think that would be for a steel lock bar insert, but I only see the titanium lock bar. I don't see a steel insert here. What the hell? Well, let's take a good look. Oh wait, I still don't see a steel lock bar insert. I don't know if my lighting is actually going to get in there. But right there, it's in there. They're building it so that it's almost impossible to see. Now, almost every steel lock bar insert I have in my collection, you see it from the outside of the closed knife. It's very prominent. You see it all the way around. And they've almost hidden it. So now you're going to get the benefits of the steel-on-steel lockup without interrupting the look of the full titanium frame lock. Now, I don't know how many custom makers have been doing that. I don't own any in my collection that do. You always see the steel lock bar insert. I love that little detail. I think that's amazing. I think it's fantastic. Let's talk about the specs really quick before I keep going off about the details. You're looking at a 3.75 inch blade, 3 3/4 inch blade. Now on both of these, flip it around so you can actually see it. And my lighting is, I'm still trying to dial in my lighting. You're not going to be able to read it until I bring it up here. They're both M390. So you're getting super high quality steel, super premium, micro clean steel for $400. Are they the only production company that has offered a full-size flipper on bearings with M390 for $400? No. I just don't know of anybody that's done it with all of the extras and the incredible action that these guys are offering. What you've got actually, that I don't know that you're going to find in any other production knives, is a multi-row bearing system. So you don't have just that single row of bearings going around the pivot, you have 2 rows. So you got a shitload of bearings in there. And you notice it. Now I love my Horizon B. It's a great flipper. It's got a nice action to it. But these are just a little bit faster. Oops, get it past the detent. And somehow just a little bit smoother. Great sound when they lock up too. So the big differences here really are just going to be the presentation side. If you would prefer the carbon fiber, A, for its looks, and B, for the fact that it weighs a lot less than the full tie, then you want to go with the Horizon D CF. If you want that look of full tie, this thing looks incredible. Let's start here at the tip of the blade. So you got a nice clean stone wash, great edge. I haven't received a knife from David yet that wasn't really, really nicely sharp. They're not, I'm not going to say they're like Rockstead sharp, but they're really, really sharp. They're certainly going to be better than many of the production knives you're going to come across. Notice how also this groove follows into the lines of the frame here. There's that beautiful pivot and really nice clean mill work throughout. I apologize if mine has a couple marks on it already. I've already carried this for about a week, off and on. Nice big lanyard hole. Great finish work on the titanium backspacer. So they mirror polished it and then done the blue anodizing. And here we could see more of the beautiful finishing on that clip as well. The way it's been nice and polished all the way around the outer edges. And then that custom etch. And you can see and feel those mill lines too. It's really kind of cool. I like the fact that they chose to use regular hardware here instead of blued hardware, so it kind of gives you that two-tone pop. You know, so you have all this blue hardware against the gray titanium, then you have a blue clip, so you have that silver popping out against that. Come on in focus. There we go. all the way around, I found these to be extremely impressive. But it really is going to be hard for some people to justify the price. And I get that. This is not a cheap knife. And you think to yourself, well, I could spend $200 to $300 more and get a custom knife with all the same stuff in it. Yes, you could. Maybe, if you're lucky and you're getting it direct from the maker and not getting raked on the secondary market. And if you don't mind waiting. I can't think of a decent, even decent maker at this point that doesn't have at least a 6-month wait. And probably a lot more. Most of the makers' books that I'm on are for a year to 5 years. And sometimes we just want that impulse purchase. You can go to FortHenryCustomKnives.com, buy one of these from Vince right now. There are other dealers like Blade HQ and GP Knives that are getting their shipments. So you can literally pull the trigger on it today, have it in a couple of days. I'm very certain that David's going to bring a whole bunch of these next weekend to the Blade Show. And he's going to have a lot of custom variations, I'm sure. But I can tell you right now, anybody that picks one of these up is going to be impressed. The big question for most people is when they haven't handled one, okay, well, I could buy a zero tolerance for about $50 less. Yeah, you could. But I've never handled a ZT except for the really rare, limited edition, hard to get ones that as soon as they come out, they sell out and people start charging double, triple, quadruple their value. I've never handled a ZT outside of those that felt like this, that looked and felt as refined, that had an action as nice, and had a great a steel that was this premium. So to answer the question, yes, you could buy a zero tolerance for the same amount or a few dollars less and get the same kind of performance, but only on the really rare shit. Everybody wants to try and compare these because of their size and their overall design. They want to compare them to the Hinderer designs. Now, you guys have heard me say for years, long before Reate was ever in existence, or at least on the market in the U.S., that I never have been a fan of what Kershaw Zero Tolerance has done with the Hinderer designs. They just never really appealed to me. They felt a little bit clunky. They just never were really perfect for me. I never got into them, so I never bought one. Handled plenty, never decided to buy one. With these, they feel a little nicer in the hand. They feel like they're nicer quality. The designs I love. I think they're gorgeous. And again, I can't get past how great the action is. So taking a good look, I wear a size large glove, so if you do too, you'll have a basic idea here how it's going to fit in the hand. Jimping, really, that's the one thing I would probably nitpick on these, is the jimping is very, 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 very weak. It really isn't doing much of anything at all. So if I could make one suggestion to David, maybe to sharpen up those edges just a bit. Not enough to tear skin or anything, but just to give you a little something. This is still as slick as if it were completely rounded off. I like the flipper tabs. They do have jimping all the way around. Again, it could be a little bit sharper. And it doesn't matter how you engage this. If you want to light switch it, it's super fast. If you want to push button it, it's super fast. So they're not finicky. I definitely have had knives in my collection that prefer to be light switched or prefer to be push buttoned. And only a few really that would go either way. Kind of like girlfriends. When you find that one that'll, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. If you find the one that will go both ways, marry her. All right, so if I had to say I liked one over the other, it's the CF. Here's why. It is a lot lighter weight. It is noticeable when you're carrying it that this is lighter in weight. I like the way the texture in this material feels. There's nothing wrong with how it feels here, but it's slick, smooth carbon fiber. Slick, smooth titanium, and I love that, and it's great. But there's something about this in carbon fiber that really changes things. And again, I have to say, it reminds me 100% of what Shirogorov has achieved on the Hatis in their milled textured carbon fiber. It looks every bit as good and feels every bit as good. And it's hard to say that, but yeah, it really is true. There again, you've got that same beautiful pocket clip on the CF version. Now, if I recall, you will also get additional hardware that's not blued, that will be the standard hardware. I don't know if that's standard delivery or if David just threw that in for me, not knowing if I'd want to keep the blued hardware or not, but I got 2 sets of hardware. So if I ever want to take my knife apart and put in the regular silver hardware, I can do that. Again, I'm not 100% certain if that's the way they come. So that's just a quick look at the Horizon D in both the CF and in the full tie, compared up against the Horizon B. Oh, there's one more I've added to my collection too that you might find interesting. Oh, would you look at that? This is the Horizon Dark that David was kind enough to make as a one-off for me as well, with some custom anodizing. Now, I gotta tell you, it's probably going to get its own video at some point. Maybe not. I think we've pretty much covered everything about the Horizon D series. But look at that. It looks like a beautiful summer sky. That's the best way I can put it. Just gorgeous. By the way, this is what the clip would look like without the anodizing that you just saw in the previous two. So you see those cool milled lines through it. It's got a nice, very high satin, and then a polish on the edges. So that's what it would look like without the etching and the anodizing. But yeah, isn't that cool? Just a little bit different, and it's something that, you know, I never would have dreamt up myself. It's obviously not like anything else in my collection. I wouldn't like it if it was just this against titanium, but this against the really dark blackened titanium really provides an immense contrast. And it's something that makes it feel a bit special to me. This particular version also has standoffs instead of the backspacer. And S35 VN steel. Once again though, completely hidden away steel lock bar insert. I love all the beveling that he does, all the reliefs that he does. So everything is nice and smooth to the touch. The only sharp edge on this knife is the blade. Everything else is nice and smooth and comfortable and easy to deal with on a daily basis. So there you go, guys. There is the Horizon collection that I have in my collection. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. You can follow Reate Knives. It's at Reate Knives on Instagram, R-E-A-T-E, as you see in the title of the video up there. You can follow me, of course, as always, Jim Skelton TV. And I just do still have a couple more videos I want to crank out before I head out to the Blade Show next week. I don't know if I'm going to get the chance, but I'm certainly going to try. David, I want to thank you so very much for making all these for me. I still have a Hills that I have to do a review on, and also a District 9, which was customized for me as well. But I really wanted to get this one out, especially before the Blade Show, because this is the one that everybody keeps asking about. David, you've been a phenomenal guy. I know I've been pestering you a lot. This huge order of 6 knives or 5 knives came to me after about 4 months of, okay, let's do this. Oh, well, Jim, I have a new model coming out. Should I wait until I get those done? Yeah, sure, okay. And that has kind of snowballed into about 4 months here. But I'm so glad to finally get them. David's generosity in doing the beautiful one-off modifications for me. It's really, truly an honor. If you guys love any of the Reate knives, you can always, when you're placing a direct order with them, request to have some custom work done. I'm not special. I'm not the only person that can get cool shit on a Reate knife. It is a little bit more money, but hey, it's just like anybody else. You ask for extra things, you pay extra money. But David loves his customers. He loves knives. That's how he got into this. Just being a knife lover that happened to be a machinist. He put the two loves together and boom, and you get to see what you have here in front of me. So if you want to get something special and cool and, you know, something like that, order it direct. If you don't care about that, you just want a really great knife that's going to kick serious ass and give you the feel of having a custom in your pocket, then order from one of the dealers I mentioned earlier in the video and get it sent out to you, straight out to you. For some reason, I had a hard time saying that. Don't know why. Get it sent straight out to you. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.